Tayo. Tayo. Tayo.
Hello! Welcome back po sa 1PH Tayo. Oras na para sa Earthwise, kung saan nag-iimbita po kami ng mga taong nagsisikap na gumawa ng pagbabago para sa kalikasan.
Kasama natin ngayon ang Managing Director of PHILERGY German Solar, Mr. Jochen Staudter, aka Solar Joe. Mr. Joe, magandang umaga and welcome to Tayo.
Magandang umaga. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
It's like
coming.
really early on a Saturday morning, so we're glad you could join us.
First question. Wow,
Yes.
hot seats siya agad.
Yes.
Tell us
Sige,
first
go,
what
Kim.
you do. Meron tayo ditong, is this solar panel? Ito ba yung solar panel?
That's a smaller version.
Okay.
The normal common standard one is larger, 1 meter to 1 meter, 67.
So this is for the use of, residential? Just
You could use that for smaller applications, but those basically are show panels.
Okay. But this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. The cell technology is the same. A larger panel means there are more cells that
Okay.
can harvest energy from the sun.
Okay, so very briefly, tell our viewers, what do you do? I know this is German technology that you brought here in the
Yes.
Philippines.
Yes.
So essentially, introduce your company.
Yes. So first, what I do, I'm an advocate for renewable energies in general, aside from my company. So I'm advocating for the use of renewable energies. I'm advocating to raise awareness that we need to have a shift, and especially in the Philippines. That's why I'm here also. Not just because of this. I also like the country a lot. I like the people, and I feel very very welcomed here as well. And then on the other hand, of course, to provide reliable renewable energy solutions to the country. That's why we have, or why I founded PHILERGY, Filipino German Energy Solutions, where we offer high quality German-made solar systems for residential and business clients, commercial clients all over the Philippines.
But actually, based on report, solar energy in terms here in the Philippines, I think it's only fourth. Because the number one here, although again we discussed solar renewable energy here is not really very good yet, but here it's geothermal. That's the number one because we have the volcanoes here. I guess followed by, is it wind or hydro?
It's hydro.
It's hydro.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hydro and then biomass.
No, first would already be solar.
Is it solar? Because based on previous reports, I guess in the terms of the power plants, we have lesser here. So what you're doing is you're bringing this to the consumers directly to
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess share what are the benefits of solar energy,
There are a lot of
of
benefits.
shifting to solar energy.
First of all, it of course harvests what we have the most, which is the sun. It is very easy to install. It is quite a cheap option in comparison to the other renewable energy suppliers, sources, geothermal, what you mentioned, wind, turbines, so hydro or biomass. So it is easy to install. It is fast to install.
Okay.
It is very reliable in the long term. You have warranties of 25 years on this. There are no maintenance costs. It's fully automatic. So, and in the Philippines, that is special for the Philippines. We have a lot of sunlight, 12 hours a day. So it's malakas. And in comparison to my country, Germany, for example, we don't have that. So we have a lot less harvest than in the Philippines. It's double as effective, in fact, here in the Philippines, which makes it really efficient in terms of saving electricity and then, of course, in having a really nice business case.
So could you tell us a bit more about the photos we're showing on screen right now?
Yes, so basically those are installations now. I help. This is a photo of our showroom and headquarter. We have a showroom there. And that's very important for us to show that people can touch it, that they see it. We have a live monitoring system where you see live what the solar system produce. Every one of our clients has that on their phone. It's an app, or you can see it with your web browser. So there's really transparency because we have to create a trust in the technology. There is still a misconception somehow. It is not working. It is very expensive. So we educate a lot. We actually basically don't sell, we educate. And once people understand the benefits, and then they want to purchase also solar. And the market is growing massively. In fact, renewable energy, if you look at the sources, solar is the only renewable energy source in the past 5 years that multiplied times 40. All the others stayed quite stable. So it's
Right.
really calming a lot.
Yeah, it's actually a really huge thing these days, especially given like international policies, international developments. But one question that people always ask us is, what happens when the sun goes down? Like,
Of course, that is easy to answer. Nothing anymore, because solar panels produce electricity with light. So not direct sunlight. A lot of people think the sun has to really shine on it. That's not true. It's light. This light is enough now for them to produce electricity.
okay.
That's what we, for example, show in our showroom all the time. We have normal lights and we measure electricity flows already a lot. But if there's night, of course, there is no sunlight anymore, no daylight, let's say daylight, and then there is no electricity consumption. The technology is connected to the grid. That means you have always two sources of electricity. One is the major utility, for example, in Manila, Morocco, and then the solar. And whenever there is no solar electricity, it gets automatically supplied by Morocco without any shortage or delay. So you always have 100% electricity.
Right. So it just kind of goes in and out and complements your other sources of energy.
Exactly. It complements, and due to the fact that you can sell excess solar energy in the
You
Philippines,
sell it to the utility provider.
yes, you can sell it, and the utility provider gives you a credit. If you sell during the day, you can offset your bill at night. And this is an amazing, it's not a technology, but it's an amazing step from the government that was developed 2008 as well. Actually, also with the German Institute of Energy, because in Germany we have that as well. So we somehow shared those experiences, and now we have it here. So before, maybe you have heard that batteries were very present here in the Philippines, because what do you do with the excess energy?
Right.
You have to store it
Yeah.
to be able to supply it. Now, instead of storing it, it is much more efficient and recommendable to sell it, because a battery is very expensive. You have to
Right.
exchange it. It doesn't supply you as much electricity than what it soaks from the energy, because there are natural losses.
Right.
So that's why solar systems are now very durable, because now without the battery they last for 25 years, fully automatic, no maintenance costs.
Yes, but I mean, not all buildings are equipped, I guess, or they're not fit enough for the installation of the solar panels, or you assess per building. So
That
how
is-
would you know if it's fit to shift to solar energy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always say, no matter what it is, as long as there's an electric bill, we can cater it.
Okay.
And we have done already. We have done from hospitals to fuel stations, car dealers, houses, of course, production sites, heavy production sites, freezing stations. It doesn't matter what it is. We can cater it. There's no limit. Of course, sometimes you have to look at the roof. If the roof is maybe only facing north,
Right.
you could still do it, but you would lose efficiency, because the sun rises in east, goes down in west, and goes towards south more. So, but you can do it all the time. We never had a case basically where we couldn't install.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess, because as population grows, demand for electricity also grows, right? So I guess if I'm in a family of, say, 10, in a family of 10, I'd be like, oh, do I need a larger solar panel for my house? Or it doesn't depend. Like for this one, how do you think, how many energy can this produce? This
So
small panel.
this is now a show panel. Let's talk about the standard size, because that's what people in the end would get.
Yes.
So it is like with a car. You can buy a car with 100 PS. You can buy a car with 300. So it depends on the capacity you want the solar panel to be. It can range from very small, like 20, 50 watts of a solar panel, up to 400 actually already, or 450. Those are the most strongest there. And to give you a bit of an idea on how much that can power, 1 horsepower, because a lot of people have a 1 horsepower aircon,
Yeah.
consumes around something around 750 watts per second. But no
Okay.
one always uses the aircon full on
The
level
maximum,
5.
yes.
So usually it's 400, 300 watts per second. So
Okay.
one panel of such a Malakas one, 400, 450, could already power that aircon.
Okay. Okay, that's very interesting.
Just one aircon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And that's
nagreklamo
very-
yung pamilya.
But that's
Kung
not.
lima yung anak nila.
Yeah, but if I may add something, that's not how. That's what we always explain as well. But a lot of people ask us, can I have solar for my aircon? Can I have
Right.
it for my
Yes.
TV? That's a bit of the wrong thinking, because you have to think of the fact that we tap solar energy into any cable of a building that is thick
Right.
enough to carry the load. Meaning that solar energy gets supplied first to all of the appliances in the whole building, not just into
Not
one
just
aircon.
one appliance.
Yeah. So you should not think of, oh, I want to save one
this
aircon's
particular
electricity.
appliance.
Exactly, because it also supplies the fridge, the freezer, the fan, the light bulbs. So this is the right thinking. And then in the end, you save, of course, kilowatt hours and then money, and that's how we explain it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess has there been like a total shift? Because as you said, this provides energy for what it can, and then the deficiency they get from the normal electricity. So is there like a building that's totally completely solar powered?
There are, yeah. We have clients with zero bill as well.
Zero bill.
Yeah.
I guess that's the goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
However, if you have that grid-tied solar system, meaning there's no battery anymore, meaning at night, of course, you still get from the utility.
Right.
But the solar systems are sized that large that during the day, a lot of solar energy gets sold. The credit gets back from Meralco, for example, or for the
Right.
utility, and then the night bill is offset.
right.
So that's some clients want to do that.
And there are
Yes.
also some buildings or some locations that actually just really have the bulk of use during the day, right?
Exactly,
So
and that is optimal
offices,
for
yeah.
solar, especially for businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
So like industry plants maybe, so they're just using their solar energy during the day, and at night when it's all closed up, they don't really need that much. So
Exactly.
it's,
Yeah.
okay.
You know,
That's,
it's interesting because this technology is from Germany, and Germany is a very industrialized country, so lots of like factories, and you're the ones leading, I guess, the shift to renewable energy. Is that because you don't have much of the natural resources to begin with, as
Could
opposed
be.
to like a country like the Philippines with
Yeah.
lots of resources that are untapped?
That are, some of them are tapped already, but a lot are still not. Germany, why was that? We started 20 years ago, one of the first actually, and then massively the government pushed it.
right.
There were
Right.
subsidies. Of course, then the people do it a lot. And the landscape in Germany is also very nice for it because we have very good roofs we can install everywhere. Actually, nearly everyone has solar in Germany. When you see photos, I always show one to my clients. I say, this is my house, everyone nearly has solar. And it's only half less effective. Still, people have it. You cannot also compare the Philippines to Germany. I mean, Germany is I would say, a very capital strong country, so people have money. They can do that easier, you know. In the Philippines, still, I think it has to be it has to be made accessible. Sorry,
yeah.
and financed, and the prices have to fit. But we take care of this, that we make that shift possible as well.
Okay. So normally, another concern that I hear often is the, as you mentioned, the price point, right? So they're a bit worried about like the investment that will need to go into like installing solar panels at your home or at your businesses. So what kinds of, I guess, like financial plans, or how can it be made more accessible to ordinary users, for example?
Yeah. I mean, accessibility, it is accessible. It's always the financing. Or the finances in general. We compared a lot with an investment good because it is one, right? We look over 25 years. You have a very, very attractive return on investment on a solar system. It's a system. It's not just a panel. It is something around 4 to 5 years at the moment. When we started several years ago, it was 10 years.
Okay.
We started 7-8 years ago. Now it is 4 to 5. Why? Because we have one of the highest electricity rates in Asia, number 2, and the fastest increasing. Over the past 2 years, more than 15%. Still increases. That is because of the mix of electricity we have in the country.
Right.
We still focused heavily on non-renewables, fossil fuels that are quite expensive because we have to import actually 60% of our whole electricity generation sources from other countries.
Right.
So it gets expensive. And so you have a return of 4 to 5 years, meaning you have a payback secured without headache, fully automatic of 20% on your investment.
Okay.
So that's why we try to explain people, don't invest in the stock market, invest in a solar system in your asset on your roof, save money instead of having that risk that maybe the stock market falls down or anything like that. You can compare it with anything, even an apartment. And on the other hand, then it's financing.
Okay.
That's very common in the Philippines, especially with cars. I always talk about that because I know a lot of people that finance cars with a lot of interest, and a car depreciates 15% a year. So you have losses in general of the value. You have maintenance costs, and you still finance it because you want to have it.
Right.
So solar is something I think people should want to have as well, because
Right.
electricity cost burdens are the major cost burdens for households and businesses.
True.
More than 40-50% of the costs. We have people that pay even small houses already 5,000 electricity bill per month. That's a lot,
Yeah.
right? So that's what we have to what we have to try to make happen, like changing the mindset of the people. You have to want to have solar as well.
Right.
And then it's about financing the solar. And that's very nice, because of course you have savings, and the savings can pay back the loan.
Right.
So you only have a little bit of cost burdens, but you don't have to pay up front. So it's very accessible. And after how many years you want to finance it, you have it the full savings for more than 25 years.
Right.
So that's a nice
I guess
thing.
you mentioned the mindset of the people. So far, how has been the acceptance, I guess, or the shift to solar energy? I mean, lots of people have been asking for this, or do they ask and then they get turned off with all the, I guess, technology?
Mm.
What do you say? Like,
It is a happy making product. No one would say, "Oh, I don't like it" or something.
really?
Maybe if someone says something, it's mahal.
That's really the number
that's
one.
really the-
Yeah. Oh, mahal. And then we can offer solutions, what I just explained. The shift is very nice, actually. We doubled our sales over the past 2 years. So there's a
Okay.
huge, we call that pull from the market, because we don't have to push anymore. Push means
Right.
we have to do marketing. People come to us. We have a lot of
Okay.
inquiries. They
Great.
talk to us. Of course, we have a lot of installations now, and then referrals and so on. So it spreads massively. And you see that also on the numbers. The solar production over the past 5 years multiplied times 70.
Wow.
70.
Wow.
And the capacity installed of solar panels in the country
Right.
multiplied times 40 over the past 5 years. It's the fastest growing source in the Philippines.
Right.
And still, sadly, coal,
It's not enough.
Yeah.
coal, oil, or gas, yeah, they still
Still
increase a lot,
even
50%
growing, yeah.
per year, like in the past 5 years. So still a lot. It's also not so easy, I have to say, in the Philippines. We are in an island.
Yeah.
We have, you talked about the electricity demand in the whole country. We have around 99 gigawatts a year. And over the past 20 years, it doubled.
Right.
Past 10 years, it increased 60%. Past 5 years, 35%. So per year, 5%. That's a lot. This year, we already have more than 100 gigawatt. So how will you cater that? We
Right.
have more people. Everyone wants electricity.
We all want aircon.
Everyone wants aircon, of course, Lamik, Sarap, and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to cater that and to give that demand we have something to supply. So you have to find that mix. But still, for me personally, it is still too much focused on fossil fuels,
non-renewable
on non-renewable.
sources.
Definitely. Yeah.
Having said that, the government or the politics have a lot of acts, a lot of laws now
Yeah.
to go towards renewable, which is very nice. The share of renewables is already more than 20%, which is nice.
That's
I
great,
guess,
yeah.
you know, I mean, if the people are the ones coming to him
Yeah.
for this, I guess the mindset is also changing, or there are lots more who are more educated when it comes to renewable energy. So
Right.
your education aspect, this is why you made your Solar Joe accounts,
Yes.
the social media, to reach them and educate them.
Yeah.
So the response to that has been good, I guess.
Yeah, it's
The
nice.
education part.
Yeah, especially the videos. People watched it a lot.
The videos.
On YouTube, 2-minute videos where I easily explain the questions we get asked
Right.
every day,
Every day,
hundreds
yes.
of times. So to make it easy, not to give someone nosebleeds, so give it very
Right.
easy, because it's a fully automatic technology that is not heavy to understand, at least not for the client. Of course, we
Right.
are the expert. We need to know how to do it, but not the client. And of course, social media is very, very good here as a something to spread word, and
Right.
especially Instagram works very well. So yeah.
How about statistics? How many have you installed so far?
Solar panels or
Yes.
systems? Solar panels, I can barely say that. Thousands.
Okay.
Systems,
That's a
we
good thing, I think.
yeah. Solar systems in total, we talk about something around 600. Commercial and residential, and yeah, also megawatts already.
Right. And I can imagine that would be, I think, like most of your clients have they been like in the urban areas or in farther flung areas as well? Because I can imagine, like, given that we're an archipelago, it's islands,
right.
right? And we have a lot of typhoons that normally affect the grid and end up resulting in brownouts. I would assume that these kinds of systems would work particularly well in smaller islands or in areas that kind of need a little bit more energy
Yes,
independence from the
exactly,
grid.
Yeah, So we have all over the country. We have Cebu, Bohol, Boracay. We have also in Davao. However, we are very strong in northern Luzon.
Okay.
Why? Because we have a warehouse here.
Oh, okay.
Like in Luzon, let's say like Manila and the parts around. We have a warehouse here, and of course you have to transport it. We have
Right.
also German engineers that always had one installation to maintain the highest quality, finest workmanship. So if we cater small islands, we always have to ship everything there. We have to fly
That's
there. It's
true.
not easy. We really try to do it because we want to help.
Right.
But that really requires a lot of manpower and a lot of like logistics, and then of course it would get expensive. So we always
the costs would go up.
Yeah, so we always teach also local suppliers to do it. We can supply them sometimes, and then we spread it with the local people because they should be the ones that should learn how to do it, and then they can maintain it in case something would happen.
Yeah.
So that's our approach more.
Great. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you
this
so much for
morning.
a very...
We learned a lot. And I guess for our last question, and it's mostly for our viewers, if they want to get in touch with you, like find out more about your systems,
sure
have
maraming
systems
na,
installed, how can they contact you?
Of course, they can Google PHILERGY. We pop up, hopefully directly. If not, they have to scroll. There are phone numbers, there are emails, my Instagram account, YouTube, all the social media channels. They can find me under solarjoe.ph.
Okay.
And I think the homepage, so Google is always the best to get in contact.
Got it. Great. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very much
spending
for
your
having
morning with us. It's
And sa amin pong pagbabalik, alamin kung bakit nag-viral ang isang wedding sa Benguet.
Magbabalik po kami matapos ng ilang paalala.
Sa hininda